Hi and welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Nicole with morningchores.com, and today I'm going to teach you how to make bread from scratch. Making bread at home is a great way to fill the home with those lovely smells of fresh bread, and it's also a great touch to any meal. My recipe is super simple and so basic that with a little bit of practice, you'll be making bread in no time. The first thing you need is a medium-sized bowl and a fork. The ingredients are super simple, so let's get started. The first thing you need is 2 1/4 cups of lukewarm water. Pour this into your bowl. Next, you need 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. Once your yeast is completely dissolved in the water, you can add the following ingredients: 3 tablespoons of cane sugar, 1 tablespoon of fine sea salt, 2 tablespoons of light olive oil, and give it a little mix until the sugar and the salt are dissolved. Next, add 3 cups of all-purpose unbleached flour. Mix dough mixture on low speed in the mixer. Once it's decently incorporated, add the remaining 3 cups of all-purpose flour and continue mixing on low speed. Once flour is decently incorporated, you can turn your speed up to medium on your mixer. Continue mixing until the dough starts gathering on the dough hook and becomes less liquidy and more sticky. Once it reaches that level, you can turn your mixer off and it's time to move to the kneading process. On a clean counter, sprinkle a little flour and then transfer your dough from the mixing bowl to the counter. We're ready to begin our kneading process. One of the most important components of bread making is the kneading process. So it's very important that you knead the bread for the allotted amount of time in the recipe, which is 8 to 10 minutes. Once you've made this bread a few times, you'll start to recognize when the dough has been kneaded enough. You can usually tell by the way it looks and the way it feels. As for some tips on kneading the dough, it's really about just getting your hands in there and working the dough. It's a great arm workout, so don't be afraid of it. But what I like to do is work in a circular manner, crossing one arm over the other as I push down on the dough towards the kitchen counter. You probably will come up with your own rhythm and your own technique the more you make the bread, but this will at least get you started. Another technique that can be used is what I like to call the fold over. And what you do here is you press out the dough really wide and then fold the sides in, and then continue pushing down in your circular, hand crossing over the other manner. Dough is done with the kneading process when it is smooth and springy to the touch. Spray a medium-sized bowl with a non-stick cooking spray and then place your dough inside the bowl. Roll the dough around to coat your dough in the cooking oil and then allow to rest. Cover your bowl with a tea towel and place in a warm spot in your kitchen. Take 2 bread loaf pans and spray with a non-stick cooking spray, being sure to cover all the sides, bottoms, and corners thoroughly. Place dough once again in a warm spot in your kitchen and then lay a tea towel on top. In the meantime, preheat your oven to 375 degrees. I wanted to mention here real quick that my bread has been rising in the bread pans for over an hour. The weather, the humidity in your home, the temperature outside, all of that plays into bread baking. The weather today is very much like spring outside, so because of that, our furnace is not running and we don't have our wood stove going, so it's a little bit cooler inside our house. So I just wanted to mention that the success of your bread depends not just only on following the recipe, but also monitoring your bread and just keeping an eye on it. You may have to let it rise longer than what the recipe calls for. Dough is finished rising when it's filled the entire loaf pan and has filled in all the corners. Place loaves on middle rack and oven and bake for 30 to 35 minutes or until golden brown. Our bread is finished baking, and how you tell it's completely baked through is by its golden brown color, and by thumping it, it should have a hollow sound. After bread is taken out of the oven, remove them immediately from the bread pans and allow them to cool for 10 minutes before slicing into.
Really good, guys.
Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. The recipe will be in the description box below, so you can copy it down from there. Be sure to head over to morningchores.com, where you'll find all kinds of information on animal husbandry, gardening, homesteading, and much, much more. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.